Okay, Pentland Junction, Caledonia Sleeper. Now we have a proper Class 86 in the actual Caledonian Sleeper livery. Pulling up a rake of 8 Mark III coaches in my sort of semi-fictitious, inspired by Mark V but wrong paint scheme Caledonian Sleeper livery. And she's generally behaving herself now. When I first got her, she's pre-owned. There was an issue of it derailing. It would just derail going around corners. So I've got 2 other Class 86s. So I swapped the bogies over of my yellow one, which is in the traction yard, where shed at the moment. There she is. She's now wearing the Mons Meg's bogies. Now I put Mons Meg on her swapped out bogies. It seemed to cure the problem. So now I tries to put the other Class 86 on the track, and it seemed to behave itself generally, but occasionally it would derail. Coming around the track, I decided to go around the other way to what she's going down. Now, the coaches would derail on this point. Turns out that the point may have been the problem. However, knowing about the issue with the bogies, I have ordered a pair of bogies off Peter Spares. £14 each, so about 28 quid I've just spent on bogies. Probably not needed. However, as you can see there, I have a dummy Class 86 chassis. No couplings in the bogies because obviously we weren't heating up properly. So what I'm going to do is put the bogies on that one, along with a set of buffers. Probably get a set of high neck buffers or a pair of generic buffers. Then see if I can source a Freightliner body shell for the Class 86. Of course, I've got a Freightliner locomotive on order from my local hobby store. And I think what I might be able to do is make that back up as a dummy chassis again. So when that one comes, I will have the ability to have a live and a dummy Class 86 for hauling freight trains on a modern English layout at also the club, namely Fredstone Lane, which I've yet to actually see fully made up yet because it's currently in crates. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring it to this loco to a stop and spin it round. So just stop that there for a moment. Lift this one out. Turn it round. Re-rail it. That feels like it's re-railed. And send it back round again. So now it should go the same direction but the other way, leading with her opposite end. Around these lines here. Now, Mons Meg is actually a gun at Edinburgh Castle. I think that's the one they fire for the midday gun. although I'm not entirely sure. All I know is Mons Meg is a big gun. It may be an old cannon, or it might be the new day gun. I'm not sure on that. All I know is it's a gun at Edinburgh Castle. Now, my other Class 86s have got no working lights because of issues with the wiring. So I removed them. But this one has front and rear working lights. So when I get the other bogies, I'll swap the bogies over for that one. So the new ones will go on that locomotive, the old one will go onto the dummy. We'll see how we go from there. As you can see, she's just behaving herself at the moment, quite nicely, just going around the track. So I'll open up that point. Yeah, what happened here at this one, as you notice, it's not, these lines are not quite true. And this blade here, plastic to point with. This will do. Piece of old scenery. This blade here pinged out of here, just started flopping about. I thought, that might actually be an issue. So with a bit of excuse me. So with a bit of bending and firtling, I managed to get it back in place. So she's now going to go through her usual siding. This is actually quite smart with a set of Mark 3s behind, Mark 5s behind it. However, I'm going to wait for the Mark 5 off Revolution trains to start appearing on the second-hand market. By that time, you'll probably would have loosened up. But the early Mark 5s were troublesome, to say the least. That's why I cancelled my order with Rails of Sheffield for the Transpennine set. Turns out that I may have not needed to with the Transpennine set because it started to appear and some are coming through okay. Yet some people have had the Class 68, like what's on that ScotRail train, unable to pull them. There's only 5 of these Transpennine rake. So if a Class 68 can't pull 5 coaches, then there's a problem. Because the Class 68 is quite a, as model railway locomotives go, she's quite a bit of a beast. We're now going to go around counterclockwise. Fiddly hard points I'm probably going to leave for now unmotorised. So forgive me for the hand of God, but these ones here will be motorised. These ones here are going to get motorised. And there's that one there, that one there, that one there. And then they're all going to get powered up. Because there, got a set of insulated rail joiners, along with a set there and a set there. There's a set of power droppers there, powered rail joiners there. A set of powered rail joiners there, I think, to ensure that power is carried through there. So all I have to do is just juice those up. So we go back to here. She seems to be behaving herself. Over the points of doom. Now I also as well had a bit of a shock. Never surprised, a sort of like huh type moment. When I got this set to here, like that, I think it was set at, and points were going over. Oh no, was it? Yeah, it might have been set like that. I mean, however, when that point was set at a certain way, and that point over there was set at a certain way, with a coach bridging this gap, I was able to actually get power to this track here. I'm like, how the fuck's that happening? Then I stood there and thought about it, scratched my head, and I realised what was happening is that this in rail is electrically conductive with this rail, because it comes on there and it goes off, it goes on the inside, and it comes on there. And this rail is conducted to this rail. It's on the same polarity. So power is going to here and power is going to there. But no power is coming to here at the moment. Well, it is, but it's not coming, it's coming to there. If I set it to there, it's cut this rail off. So power was there. So what I'll do, let's bring that to a stop for a second. I'll put this coach here. This coach has got a light bar on. So when I open that, I'll just put that there. There you are. Well, obviously, power is getting to there because it's been conducted through this coach. And that was a bit of a sort of like, oh, what's going on here type moment. And it dawned on me, when I stood there and looked at the track, it dawned on me what was actually happening. So I'll just quickly turn Maggie around. Put this on here, like so. If you can hear knocking, it's next door. They're doing some work. I don't know what they're doing. In a minute, I'm going to bring the other one out. Then next week I've got to go to B&Q. I've got to spend a little bit more money on this and go to B&Q. Get myself some spaceboard. Now, over here, there's not been some major catastrophe. I'm looking at the possibility of adding in sidings off here. That's what all this is all about. seeing how long I can get, what I can get in place. There's a locomotive. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 Minitrix Ford wagons. Can I get them in place? And obviously it's 6 Mark 3s. And you're laying on the side just to simply to stop them rolling around. Because as you can see, I've got stock coming out my ears now, and it's getting to the point where I need to start looking at how to store it. So let's just bring this one up. Now she's wearing Mons Meg's original bogies. So we'll just lift her off. And we'll put her on the rails. We'll have it going around we'll have it running around pantograph end first. Yep, she's railed. She's coupled up. Yeah, she's gone. I'll put her there in front of my 210. If you just kept derailing up this top corner, as you can see, it's just going around that point perfectly okay. And that's what Evolution 68001. She replaces 68004 Rapid after there was an issue on the motherboard and it melted the body there on both of them, and also on 68034. So Robert Dapol has given me a ScotRail one, a Defiant and Evolution. So I don't know what the issue was with that was causing me. Let me just stop it here for a moment. And now rotate it round. And this is also a pre-owned 86. In fact, all of my 86s are pre-owned. I mean, nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's now we're going to go around pantograph and trailing. I'm not sure if it's a number 1 or number 2 end on an electric. This is going to become the industrial estate. There's going to be a raised section here, a raised section there, so the spacebords there. This is going to be a bridge. These are actually the pillars for the bridge. That's also going to be a bridge. However, I'm going to keep this section here. I'm going to have it removable, so I can always get to that piece of track there. She's not on 2 left now. So she's now behaving herself quite, what's it? Now, this is also a radius 4 curve, and these are also radius 4 curves. As you can see, the way that how they form, there's a bit of a gap there. They both are 4 curves. You don't do an R5 curve. I didn't really want to start faffing around with FlexiTrack. So what I'm going to do now, bring her to a stop. She's now going to hold the train leading by the pantograph again, but going the other way, so flip the direction controller over. Now Dapol are also going to release the class 87. Now the 87 is the probably haven't coupled up properly. There we are. Very similar to the 86 externally, except for one main visual difference, and that is the 86 has got 3 windows at the front, whereas the 87 has 2. Later versions of the 87 have something like 5,000 horsepower, which is a ridiculous amount of power. And we now cross over the point of doom. And you can see there's no such issue now, just gliding straight over those. This one here, by the way, is again, it's part of the Network Rail twin set. It's the other half to what's going around now. So there we are. Eventually these will all get painted up, and they'll also then be fitted with their droppers as well, which I've got to get. And the reason why I'm using plastic I-beam and plastic tube and lattice struts is because they are much stronger than the very, very thin, very, very flimsy Dapol. Now, they're flimsy because of one thing: they are so bloody small. Which they're fine if your layout is not going to get touched very often, you don't have very many derails, or you're not swapping stock around, and you don't have cats. As you know, if you've been following my YouTube on my live streams, you'll see I've got a pair of little kittens. Well, they're officially kittens because they're less than 12 months old. Although they get into that stage where soon they'll be on adult food, not kitten food. So I'm making these to be a little bit stronger. And whereas the Dapol ones are screwed to the baseboard, that's what it is. 6mm hole, no, so 5.5mm hole, bit of lattice, 5.5mm tube, pair of I-beams. It just sits in there just nicely like that. It looks the part. Same with these. As you can see, my 86 is now behaving itself. So I'll probably need, like I say, not to have bought those additional motors, but I'm going to use them on another project. So whilst I'm here, I'll just bring the other, the Lunar 86, which is this one here. So you have, I hand painted this because it was like bright blue, because it was old, the old electric blue livery, which is this livery there. That's a non-runner. There's some serious issues with the chassis. It's like fell apart. Mazak rot, probably. We'll just bring that into there. Now my original plan was to have this with a DVT at one end, but I'm not going to bother with that now. So, the 86s. This and Lima. There we are. For a start off, the Lima product was slightly too wide, as you can see there. Now if I lay it on its side, and lay this one on its side, lay them up there like that, and we'll get a straight edge. This is a box of just a spare box of spare couplings. As you can see, there's a gap between the 86 and the other 86, about 2 mil. So the model is actually a foot wider than it should be. Let's go to the length of the locomotive. We'll line them up there. So the buffer beams are pretty much there. As you can see, it's actually a good deal shorter. It's about 2 mil wide and about 10 mil too short. The only thing that is probably correct on the dimensions is the height. But these are the original shape bogies that the 86 used to have. When he made the 86, instead of having the traction motors inside, they hung the motors on the bogie frame, on the axle, which as a result made the axle and the motor one complete standalone unit, which did cause issues with the Class 86 because it was a heavier locomotive than the 85. And as a result, it was battering the track, so they had to put speed restrictions on until they worked out what the problem was. And the solution was these springs here. What they did, they supported the axles, the traction motors, to give the traction motors a little bit of springiness. And that cured the problem. And they carried that through on the 87, and also, by the looks of it, on the Class 90 as well. As you can see, the springs there. So, yeah. I'm actually now happy with Mons Meg. I was planning on getting one caliber respray into this livery. It may still go ahead. That one there will remain in her original Caledonian livery. And she's going to be resprayed into this livery. I mean, she's actually, for a locomotive, I mean, she's actually dates back to, I reckon, the 1960s. So I'm actually sitting here holding a model locomotive that is potentially older than me. So I'm 47. switch that point off. And I think she's still on her original motor. And somebody said to me, good luck with slow speed running. Oh, for a 60-year-old locomotive that has a Ringfield motor, that's not bad. We'll just slowly dial up the speed. It gets to a point where the electrical resistance meets an equilibrium of the motor's frequency, and she'll just take off. I mean, that is ridiculous speeds, but on a layout like this. So yeah, that's, for a 60-year-old locomotive, that is not bad going. It's probably 63 years old. £10 off eBay. Yeah, seriously, 10 quid. That's how much you can get them for nowadays. With the Dapol one, nobody really wants the old lemur. But in the day, when I was a boy, I used to have one of those. Yes, I did repaint it to be our large logo, like that one, like the Dapol. And this is what you were presented with. You know, it's not the best tooling in the world. I mean, this one's got bits missing. I think I tried to depower this and make it a dummy, but it doesn't like it. You have a spring-loaded, very crude pantograph. Which, even when fully retracted, just about clears the Dapol. So you can't even put the pantograph up with modern catenary. You can't even put, I say, it hits modern catenary, because that is actually too big. It's way over scale. It's more like TT120 type size, which is why for the other ones I got a pair of Kato pantographs. But I've had, like I say, I've had the 86 running. I've had the other one running as well. So I've got three. I've got three of them. The only thing is, the other one, the motor finally started to give up the ghost. And just, you power it up, and it just, you hear the motor spool up, and you hear this almighty screeching noise. And that was the motor just slipping on the drivetrain. Instead of actually driving the wheels, it would just spin and make the the fitting a little bit looser. I've also got this as well. What I might be able to do, this has actually crossed my mind. And that is, well, that was originally to see if I can make this body fit this chassis. And now, bearing in mind, it's a snug fit for the Dapol bodies. And you can see it's a quite significant width difference. So unfortunately that won't work, which is a bit of a shame really. So I might have to see if I can get another Lima chassis and put this one together and get it working. Because this body looks like it's been professionally treated. New pantograph for it, which I can get quite easily. I think I've got a couple of pantos I'll possibly be able to get away with using. Of course, mug's a bit dirty because I've been drinking out of it all day. But yeah, Dapol are going to be releasing one of these. And I've got one on order. So for now, take care. There will be all being well, a Euro Truck Simulator 2 stream next week, starting at about 8 o'clock. And then finishing at about 10, and maybe a couple of pop-up videos with regards to the model railway as well. We'll see how we go. So for now, this video was only meant to be 5 minutes long. It's now been 37 minutes, so bye bye.